Thank you again for joining that special split meeting. So yeah, we are pleased and honored to be leading that small session about crossing the language barrier. So I'm Maxime Zolobala, and I'm joined by Elijah Okello and Eddie Kaiganwa at JengaCore. So we are the three founders of JengaCore, so system implementer and integrator of the MojaLoop solution. We had past experience in DPIs in general, but our expertise lies in payments. And yes, you might already hear that, but yes, we have a strong background in French, especially me. So I'm mainly French speaking. So working mainly in Belgium and in Europe for payments clients, and that's the reason why when starting and wanting to collaborate with the MojaLoop community, when we heard that a lot of adopters were French speaking, we thought it could be a great match also as part of a contribution. So. So what we wanted to do, especially when seeing the theme around crossing the language barrier, we knew looking at the vision of MojaLoop and knowing what it was created for, was that to make sure that it's an inclusive payment system. So making sure that anyone can make a payment if they are banked or unbanked, and to be able to reach them. One of the goals is to make sure that we can also speak their languages, and that's how we also interpreted the inclusivity of MojaLoop, being able to allow adopters, community members to be able to join the community by having the documentation, the software available to them in their language. Up. And here, yes, the goal and the purpose of the workstream we led was to make sure that focusing first on Francophone Africa, knowing the new adopters coming, we wanted to make sure that the documentation could be translated and available in French also, while still having the English documentation as our source documentation, and with the goal of making sure that implementers, engineers, regulators are able, without many friction, to access the documentation. So reducing the friction to make sure that we give access to much more talents in the community. So when did it start? It started in March 2026. So we had a discussion with Eddie and Elijah on that matter, and wanted to make sure that yes, this can be done as fast as possible, and we should prepare something a plan, a framework to make sure that it's available to everybody, and we had the opportunity to discuss that with Paul Makin, who helped us, supported us, and gave us a few ideas to make the workstream work, and that's when we started. And how the work stream has been set up was in three core axes. So the static documentation translation. So we took an assessment and had a look at the way the current documentation is set up, and what could be done to make sure that it can be easily translated without creating more lines of text in the repositories, and while making it sustainable on the long term. Plus, the second point would have been the software localization. So we know that to run the MojaLoop suite, the hub operator really needs to use also the business operation framework. Also known as one of the applications is the finance portal. needed to be translated. And the third point is sustainable multi-language framework, because French is not the only second language we want the documentation to be available in. Um, I just wanted also to give a shout out to all the members of the work stream who helped us and contributed in the translation of the documentation. So we have our three members and friends from Benin, Rebecca, Prince, and Chancel. Uh, Eddie, Elijah, and myself from Jengacor, and we had the support of Sam, Paul, and Julie from the MojaCom Community Foundation. And I don't know if I already said it, but the documentation is available already in French on the official um, MojaCom documentation website. So that's the achievement we managed to that's what we managed to do, and we were able to achieve it. And how we did it. We prepare a few steps, is making sure that we can have something reproducible, as said before. So we wanted to have a clear framework on how to proceed with localization of a huge part or a huge portion of the documentation. So we use French as an example to do that. And it was done in three steps. So we divided the work per section, so the documentation is vast. And we wanted to make sure that we can split it in comprehensive blocks. So we had the product sections, we had the technical section, and then everything related to collaboration and quick starts were also splitted in their own sections. And when those splits were made, we divided the work on who was going to start working on those small portion. It's a euphemism, but on those more granular part of what makes MojaCom documentation. Then when the localization was made by a developer, it was then shared to the others to make a review. So with that in place, we managed to do the translation for all the portion of documentation. So as said, the community portion, the adoption, production, technical, and quick start. And the changes have been merged and available now on the MojaCom website. So you should be able, I don't know if you see my mouse, but on the top right, you will see the languages drop down, and you should be able to now select between English and French on the official documentation of MojaCom. What's the current status of the work stream right now? So we are now happy to say that the MojaCom website is up to date with the new changes and now available in French. What is still in reflection is how are we going to translate the software part of MojaCom. It's still a pending question, but yeah, we are conducting a small survey on hub operator to see what are their needs and how we can help in the localization process. And then the last part, which is still in progress right now, and we will need help on, is the sustainable framework. So let me get a bit deeper later on that subject. But yeah, I might be getting too fast, because now it's the same slide about the slide here explain a bit the same. But in general, what we want and where we will need help, because the localization and trying to be inclusive in the way we approach languages in the documentation, and in the other documents we are going to present as a MojaCom community. We will need the next The next language is representative. We know that Portuguese is also a language spoken in the community, within the community, and we want those persons available or ready to be part of that process of localization. So that we will be able to implement the frameworks we put in place to make sure that the documentation can be available in that language and others also. And plus, on the developer experience side, so on the sustainable framework we want to put in place, we have a small proposition in place, which we will still need community members to review, to challenge, so that it's available for everybody. So yeah, here I wanted to give a few words about that sustainability framework and what we try to put in place to make sure that every time a modification is done on the source documentation, it can be clearly seen and viewed by community members or responsible of localized portion of the documentation. So, for example, if I take myself as a French speaker, if a modification is made by Elijah in the source documentation, which will be the English version of the documentation, I will be notified that that changes has been made, and a review needs to be done on the French documentation to make sure that the no drift in between those two versions. So the small proposition we had is already available. It's present in codes. So please, if you are available, join us on Mondays where we discuss those kind of subjects. But that's the small proposition we currently have. So when the English documentation is made, when there is a change, there is a drift calculation. So we make sure that, yes, there is no differences in between French, English, Portuguese, and other languages. It can even be Swahili here for the example. And then we create a to-do, which will be taken care of by a community member. And each page will be marked within the GitHub repository with a small flag, so up to date, needs review, or missing a translation. I think that's it, if not mistaken, Elijah, on the keeping the translation in sync.
Yes, that's great.
And then, as I said, beyond French, we want to make that framework reusable and available in many languages. So I know many of you speak multiple languages, and if you are motivated, please join. You'll see it's really enjoyable to be able to see with more details how the application is working, how we can contribute and understand the MojaLoop community through what has been written by the members. So yes, one of the next steps, I think it has been raised during one of the meetings we had, was Portuguese. But if you are motivated in Swahili or other languages, please don't hesitate, or share the languages you want. You can already share the languages you want the documentation of MojaLoop in the messages, so that we can start scouting for those. And then I think I went maybe a bit fast, hopefully not too complex. But for us, yes, that's also the reason why we started Jenga Core, but it wanted to make sure that the inclusive system, the IIPS in general, so the inclusive instant payment system, would be available to as much people as possible. And through languages, we wanted to start. So that's that's what we are proud of, and we would like you to be able to be part of that also. So that's a small reminder or small recap on the few links. The presentation should be available and will be shared also. So don't hesitate to go through the documentation, review also the French documentation. If you see any mistakes, do not hesitate to raise them, please. Review the work stream task and documents and what's still pending, and join us on Mondays. And that's it for me. I don't know if you have any questions, anything to raise, a language to propose.
Maxime, there is a question from Jane Strachan in the chat. Do you want me to read it out?
Yes, please.
Is there a place for using AI in this work stream?
Yes, there is a place using AI, because we know that large language models are really good at translating text. We use that in the different processes we put in place, but it's still not fully reliable. So that's the reason why in the process we wanted to make sure that we had human review. For the sustainable framework, we still want to include the human in the loop. So it can be possible to add AI on that process. And if you have ideas in mind, please share. We want to improve that process. But right now, we have still the human in the loop while using artificial intelligence.
So AI, but under human supervision.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, great. Thank you, Maxime. I don't see any other questions. I think that I'd just like to congratulate Maxime, Elijah, Eddie, if he's here, and the rest of the team who delivered this in double quick time. I was hugely impressed with how quickly you achieved this. So congratulations to all of you. Well done.